Hi, I'm Alane with Cooking with My Friends, and today I'm with my friend Bryan Ladd, and Bryan is with Bryan Ladd Photography. He's an amazing real estate photographer, and his pictures are beautiful, and we'll get to how we met later. And I'm going to be making the spinach and mushroom BurgerFit burger. And Bryan, what are you going to be making today?
I'm going to be making a cauliflower mash. It's going to be replicating our potato to go with your hamburger.
Yes. I mean, I don't know how many times I've heard people say, I'm just a meat and potatoes kind of person. So this will be a nice combo to get some vegetables and to make them think that they're eating potatoes.
I wanted to incorporate my recipes in to try to slide those vegetables into our meat dish. We're going to make it healthy, and of course, my version is going to be keto-friendly as well.
Yes. Bryan has lost 150 pounds?
Just over 120.
120. Okay, I was a little off. But with the keto diet, and then I started BurgerFit because I needed to lose weight. So why don't you go ahead and talk about, you're going to do a dip as well, right?
Yeah, well, again, we're replacing the potatoes in this. For the keto, you want to keep your carbs low.
Okay.
Or on a low-carb diet, just keep the potatoes out. So, to replace our french fries, we're going to have celery. We have a nice crunch from those. They're roughly the same size. And instead of dipping in the ketchup, we're going to make a keto-friendly fatty dip that we can just enjoy. So that'll be sort of an hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah.
Okay?
And what could people use instead of celery for the dip?
Well, definitely you can use anything that you want that goes well with sour cream. But if you're a fan of vegetables, you're going to go ahead and use cucumbers, carrots, anything you like, really. But this sort of dip, it's made from sour cream and avocado. You can put on anything.
Okay. You want to go ahead and tell us how you make that?
Okay, sure. So basically, I start out real simply with just about a cup of sour cream.
Okay.
And then I like to throw in avocado. Both of these are keto-friendly because they're low carb.
Okay.
I think there's only 3 grams of carbs in the avocado, so that's not a big deal.
Right.
But what these contain are healthy fats. And on keto, you want to get your fats in so that you're using your fat from your diet and from your body to provide the energy source. So this is perfect for that.
And is that a whole avocado that's in there?
This is just a half.
Okay.
That's all we need.
All right.
So you just put the two together, about a cup of sour cream, half an avocado, mix it up real good.
All right. And do you add any seasonings or anything?
You can add any seasonings that you like. Something that my wife Jessica and I really like is nutritional yeast.
Oh.
Nutritional yeast has some of the B complex, B vitamins, and B12 is really important to get because that helps you sustain your energy throughout the day.
Okay.
And one of the things with the low-carb diet, basically, without eating the multigrains that we normally have in our diet, you're going to be a little bit lackluster on the B12. So nutritional yeast is great because it tastes like cheese. Gets you those B vitamins, and it mixes well with everything.
So where do you get the nutritional yeast from?
We buy ours online, but you can get it from health food stores as well.
Okay.
It's fairly inexpensive. It goes a long way too.
Yeah.
And in our dish here, I only mixed in about 2 to 3 tablespoons to taste.
Oh, okay.
It tastes like cheese.
Yeah.
So you can put in
that gives
as much.
It a nice little flavor then.
It does. Yeah, it's good to bake with too. You can put in as much or as little.
Why don't I move this away, out of your way, and then do it like that.
Okay. So this is just a real simple thing, and we really live our lifestyle simply, and especially when it comes to a diet, you don't want to be overthinking things. You don't really want to make it too complicated. Right. So these 2 recipes that I chose, and plus your burgers, they're just so simple, right? They have simple ingredients, make life easy on yourself.
And I have a 3-year-old. Bryan and Jessica have a 4-year-old. So you're also having to think, what will kids eat? Which is why I love BurgerFit Burgers, because it's the only way my son will eat vegetables. Now, does your 4-year-old like vegetables, or do you sneak it in?
My 4-year-old is mirroring right now. So everything I do and everything Jessica does, he's got a copy. So luckily, yes, he does eat vegetables, and he's a big meat eater like me too. So.
That's fantastic. So did you mash up the avocado in there, or you still have maybe some chunks in there?
Loosely, you can do it to taste.
Yeah, and so is that everything?
That's all.
You don't even add salt to it?
No, don't have to.
Oh, wow. All right, so then celery or whatever your vegetable is can go with it. It's all keto-friendly. I'm going to kind of get started a little bit on the burgers and talking about that. And you have the loaded cauliflower too, right?
Mine is real simple. Just to interject there, we made this simple again. So for the cooking show, we definitely want to make it as long as we can. So we have entertaining subject here. But basically, all of my stuff can be microwaved. So when you're ready to microwave, you just let me know.
Okay, I will. I am going to, this is for the spinach and mushroom burger. I'm just going to show you how I chop up the mushrooms. So I just cut off the ends like most people here. And then I just do a really thick chunk. I don't spend a lot of time slicing up and making them perfect because it's going to go in the food processor anyway. So I just do some real rough cuts just so it cooks faster. And then, so get it like that. I throw it in my cast iron skillet. I like cooking on cast iron. What do you cook on?
Usually just stainless steel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always get, everything always sticks in stainless steel for me. So I always do.
Well,
cast
I'd
iron.
load it with butter though, right? Like tablespoons upon tablespoons.
And the amount of mushrooms I just use a whole little container like this. And
so you pre-cook these, right?
These right here, I do. I cook it all down. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. And then the recipe also calls for 2 cups of spinach. And so it's it's not scientific measuring, you know,
of course.
Make it real loose. You can even do a little bit extra in there. So that's just showing how I do it. I cook the mushrooms in about a tablespoon of cooking fat. I go ahead and put a clove or 2 of garlic, depending on how feisty I'm feeling that day or how big the cloves are. I saute that up. I add the spinach at the very end. And then this is what it looks like here. So just a nice little saute, nothing crazy. I do about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt whenever I'm cooking. I like to go ahead and add a little bit of salt to the vegetables. So that's what it looks like when it's all cooked down. And that's missing some of the mushrooms and everything, so it's not going to fully show what it looks, the amount there. I let it cool because it's very important. You don't want to burn yourself or start cooking the meat beforehand. So once it's cooled, I put it in the food processor, and you can see it's not really a puree. It's not runny, but it's nice and finely chopped. And I do that because people that nitpick their food don't want to see.
Right, you can't have chunks of vegetables that they don't like, right?
Yes. So I'm going to just mix this in. This is a pound of beef. Get it all in here.
With your recipe, with this pound of beef and the mushrooms and spinach, that would be for a family of 4, family of 2?
Now, it depends on how big of eaters. Now, this will make about 5 to 6 burgers.
Gotcha.
Depends on how big the burgers you make. Will depend on, you know, how much you can fit in here. This is just my garlic cloves I was showing, so I'm going to move those out of the way. This is my cutting board that I made with the rustic nail, and then they put my branding on there. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's
awesome.
I
went to their shop and made it with them. So I do about a teaspoon of salt with the burger meat.
You know, salt's really good to have. It's one of the most important electrolytes that you can get in your body.
What kind of salt do you use?
I use pink Himalayan salt.
Yep,
yeah, you always look for the pink Himalayan because it's guaranteed non-GMO, basically.
I could now, if like when we're traveling and I forget my salt, which I travel with my salt,
me too.
then I just don't feel like I can taste the salt. Like it has a different taste, like no flavor to me. So I really like. I'm going to use my hands. That's why I put my gloves on to mix this up. Do you want to start mixing up your cauliflower
absolutely.
stuff?
So I'll basically explain what we've done here. Okay, thank you. And you know, again, about the simplicity here. We went ahead and got the frozen cauliflower, the steamable bags that you can just do up real quick. And we are going to bake this. So if you go the steamable route, go ahead and throw that in your microwave. Cook it a little bit less than the recommended time because you don't want it to be super mushy.
Oh, right, because you're going to bake it again.
Right. So just maybe go a minute or so less than the recommended, so it's still a little bit solid. So again, for today, we went with the microwavable kind. You can get a whole head of cauliflower if you want. Chop that up, boil it until it's near soft, and then go from there. So we're going to stick with our microwave. So we have that ready. And then here, we have about a cup of sharp shredded cheese. We have 3 tablespoons of butter. And I have 3 slices of bacon. I like to make homemade bacon bits.
Yeah.
So we went ahead and cooked that up and chopped it up. We have it all ready. We're going to pop that in the microwave as well. And we're going to melt that down.
Okay. Now, for people that don't use microwaves, have you ever cooked it on the stove or do you always microwave it?
I've never done it, but I know that
super simple, though.
I've never done this, but as long as you have something that's going to be able to, you can boil in a pot, right? So you should be able to go ahead and melt your cheese.
Yeah. Awesome. And if you are on Instagram, we have a behind the scenes that'll be in the highlight reel of Bryan chopping up the bacon.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and pop that in the microwave. And we just need to we just need to put this on for about 30 seconds just to get it loosened up a little bit to start melting the butter and cheese.
Okay. So how did y'all decide that y'all wanted to go into a keto lifestyle?
Well, it was a tough decision for me.
Yeah.
Because I've always focused on strength training. I've always focused on bodybuilding. And the traditional ways is, you have to eat so many times per day. You have to eat so many carbs and so much protein per day.
Right.
Well, Jessica actually found out about the keto. It's just on the rise, and she happened to find it someplace.
Yeah.
And so she told me about it, and I was a little reluctant at first, but we just dug into it. We find most of our information online these days. We didn't know anyone.
So you did a lot of research.
Basically, probably the first 2 weeks at least, Jessica and I were just researching all the time.
Yeah.
And we said, okay, well, let's give it a shot. Of course, I was reluctant, but then within the first week, the motivation continued because I lost so much water weight initially.
Yeah.
It was just awesome. And then we said, hey, let's do it.
So a lot of when people cut out the carbs and really go this whole food lifestyle, they have a couple of weeks of feeling really terrible.
Yeah.
Did you have that feeling at first?
I had it for 3 days, yeah.
That's it, though. That's not terrible.
Yeah, what people hear about is the keto flu. That's what they're referring to. And I found a simple solution to it, going back to our salt.
Yeah.
So if you're deciding to try the diet and the lifestyle, it's going to be a big change for you, right? Well, the biggest problem that we're having is with the carbohydrates. If it's in your body, you're going to retain water.
Yeah.
Right? Once you relieve the carbohydrates, water's going to rush out of your body. Along with that goes your electrolytes. Oh. That's why you feel the keto flu. So the important thing is to continue eating your salt, eating your green leafy vegetables to get your potassium, the other important electrolyte. So long as you stay up on those things, keto flu is pretty much minimized.
Wow. We don't do keto in our house very much, or at all, but we do Whole30, which kind of has some similarities as far as what types of foods that you eat, where you're eating meats and vegetables. You're not supposed to eat dairy on Whole30, but a lot of people, what they do is they do it for 30 days and then kind of incorporate that lifestyle from then on. So where I incorporate some dairy now, I really don't eat a lot of carbs or anything.
Cool. Well, I mean, basically any lifestyle change that you're doing for the better is for the better. You can't really go wrong. You're going to find things that works for you. You're going to find things that work for others. So there's really no right or wrong way, I would say. I mean, there's some really bad things to do, like drinking sodas, and we all know that, right? But,
right.
All right.
So I've got my burgers made up. I'm going to go ahead and get them on the skillet. And I just left your bacon fat that was left over in there. That'll give it some nice flavor. And I'm a big bacon fat fan. I cook with it a lot. I love that sizzle.
It's appetizing alone, just hearing it.
Yeah. And it already smells amazing. So you just mixed up the...
Yeah. So I pulled it out of the microwave. You want to go 30, 45 seconds or so just to soften up the cheese, the butter. And then afterwards, I put in about a half a cup of sour cream in here.
Okay.
And this is going to make us almost like a cheesy bacon gravy, right? Okay, so we have this melted down. And then we also have our cauliflower. And then you're just going to take this mixture here and you're going to pour it right in with your cauliflower.
Okay.
And then you just want to mix it in lightly. It doesn't have to cover every flower of cauliflower. You just want to mix it in so it's spread throughout. That way each bite you can get a little bit of a taste of it. So we have our oven preheated to 400. Once you get that mixed in pretty well, you're going to go ahead and top the cauliflower dish with a little bit more cheese. I mean, cheese is always good, right?
Yeah.
You got to have always a little bit more cheese.
That looks really delicious. So do y'all do this dish a lot at home?
No, we've done it a few times, but it's really just so good to have.
Yeah.
We've used cauliflower so many times throughout this diet. It's just it's a really good replacement for potatoes, right? So when you're getting used to eating a new way, you got to have your fix. You got to have your craving fix.
Yeah.
So cauliflower's been a big part of it. But yeah, we've tried this recipe a few times. It just come out so amazing. The last time I had it, I had to bring a few shows. So.
Yeah. If I was feeding my family with this dish, I would have to mash up the cauliflower so they wouldn't know.
Oh, you could definitely do that too. I didn't think about that for the show because I like the cauliflower.
I like cauliflower too. I'm a big vegetable fan.
But you'll see after we pull it out of the oven.
Yeah.
Once it's done, we're going to cook it for about 20 minutes at 400. once it comes out, it'll be fully soft then, and then you could separate dishes and mash it up for some people, or for like little children, or teething babies.
We have an 82-year-old child in our house.
Yeah. Well, if he's not wearing his teeth that day, then just mash it up real good, right?
Right. So all of these spices that you have up here, that gets added later?
Yeah, I like to add it a little bit later once we start cooking. Now, these are just rough estimates again, based on how much you like of those things. Right. Of course. So we just have, onion and garlic powders, parsley, basil. We're going to make it a little bit spicy with some sriracha pepper and some crushed cayenne pepper. And
you'll be able to click on the link in the description of the video and actually get the recipe for the loaded cauliflower bake. So you'll be able to get it.
Absolutely. So this is ready to go.
Okay. Let's open up the oven here and stick it in. And then for the burgers, I turned down the heat. It was a little too hot, but I like putting the lid on whenever I'm cooking them so that it helps just cook evenly whenever you're on the stove. And then, are you a burger smasher?
No, I wouldn't say so. You don't want to lose the juice inside.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people, though, they like to get in there and smash down on their burgers, and it's not necessary. You don't want all of that yummy goodness getting out of your burger, and that's really all you're doing. So I'm going to turn the heat back on. Usually I have it on medium heat for the burgers, but because of that bacon fat, we're sizzling quite a bit. So they're looking delicious in here. I'm going to keep on letting that go. And we're going to just pause for just a minute and come right back in about 20 minutes. So we've been cooking the cauliflower for about 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's going to vary oven to oven. I'd say start at 20, keep checking and make sure you don't overcook the cheese.
Okay, you want to go ahead and grab that out of the oven, and my BurgerFit burgers are done. And you were asking me about my spoon.
Yeah.
So that's what I made with Serena Wells that owns Wells Built Homes, and I love this little spoon.
Well, I always like cooking, with wooden utensils. I always like having those around in the kitchen. It's a good decor to have as well. So,
and my burgers, it actually made 6. I only could fit 5 in the pan, and my plate, I can't fit them all. So I'm just going to plate 4 of them.
Yeah, perfect.
So, you have a little bit left to do?
Well, you have options. Like I mentioned before, it's all about simplicity, keeping things open. We have all of our seasonings here.
And while you're mixing, I'll tell people how we met.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, weird kind of story because I'm crazy.
What? No.
So we bought a house on Dale Hollow Lake, just a little lake house, and we were going to do Airbnb with it. Mm-hmm. And Shannon Cantrell, she's a realtor in the Upper Cumberland, had shared a post on Facebook and said, if you ever need real estate photography, use Bryan Ladd. So I was checking out your feed and your page, and I was like, yeah, his pictures are awesome. What you need?
I'm just going to get a fork or a spoon.
Yeah. Fork, spoon.
Perfect. We'll try one of those.
Okay.
Thank you. So she tagged me? Is that
she tagged you, and Facebook has that where you can save a post in your saved post section of your profile. So I saved it, and
you were thinking nuts. I was going to do your
the photos for the Airbnb, and so I saved it, and then I waited, I don't know, probably 4 months to contact you because it took us a while. We needed to fix it up a little bit. Sure. So contacted you, got some pricing and information, but then we decided not to Airbnb it. And I think you even followed up with me, like, are you ever going to want these pictures done?
Well, I always try to follow up because sometimes people, they just don't know what exactly that they're looking for. They know that they need someone, for example, but they just need that extra little bit of boost to help make those decisions. And I mean, with the way that I run my photography business, it's about, community and providing the service to help other people. That's all I was doing. I wasn't trying to bug you.
Not at all. I actually was really happy that you did that because most people don't even get back to you anymore. That's true. So the fact that you followed up, and then I needed to get some professional pictures done for myself, and I loved his photography so much, and he did all the Photoshop and what do you call that, like post editing?
Yeah, just post editing. We just touched up a few of the flyaways, and but you had all of your stuff put together well that day.
I somehow talked you into doing it because he only does pictures of real estate. Because I think it's because houses don't get stressed out. They don't talk back. And then there's me that's like, just a ball of nerves.
You
getting
remember
photos.
well.
Yeah.
Well, I switched over because I had done weddings for a long time, and I had done family for so long. And once you're at those 300 to 400 people weddings, it really brings down the nerves.
Yeah.
And then, like I say to everybody, once if you're photographing a house, you don't have to make them smile.
No.
You don't have to have little kids stop and sit still. So I just enjoy
make sure
real
it's not
estate.
raining that day. That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
All right, so you got everything mixed together.
Everything's all mixed together. So do you want to go ahead and plate it up? Or
Yeah,
do you
go
want to
ahead.
Talk about... How about a little bit more in there? This stuff's so good.
Yeah, pile it on.
We're not going to be stingy with it.
So my BurgerFit cookbook is coming out later this summer, or earlier this summer, later this spring, I guess. Depends on how you want to look at it. And it's got just a whole bunch of different recipes. I have a cauliflower recipe.
Do you?
Nice. And I have a video, actually. My first Cooking with My Friends video is using cauliflower and peas, and we did an Indian burger.
Oh, yeah.
It's really delicious. My brother doesn't like peas, but he didn't know it was in the burger and loved it.
Well, that's awesome. So the book's coming out soon?
Yes, book is coming out soon. It'll be a link to where you can either pre-order or you can just sign up to be emailed whenever the book comes out.
Notification squad.
I'll have the link in the description.
Good.
You can subscribe to our channel. You can follow me on _Hurricane Alane on Instagram, or Cooking with My Friends Official on Instagram. And what's your Instagram handle?
You can follow me at Bryan Ladd Photography. Find me on Facebook, Bryan Ladd Photography.
It's pretty consistent.
Find me online, BryanLaddPhotography.com.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. And we always do a high five at the end.